Welcome back, YouTubers, and it has been a long time since I made my last video, and probably something only this major that happened last week in manga would have been the only thing that would have been able to bring me back. Yes, One Piece chapter 783 in my side. God damn, what a chapter this was. Like, oh my god almighty, this was amazing. Phew. Like, don't even get me started. Like, I've read this chapter at least a good 5 times. Now, first of all, this is just going to be a quick review on One Piece chapter 783, but the most part of this video is going to be a discussion on what Gear 4 is, because that's all the hype that's going to be on for the next 2 weeks, is what the hell is Gear 4. And after the chapter, One Piece has gone on hiatus for a week, so we're all just like, shoot me now, bloody Oda, why do you do this to us? You know, you make an amazing chapter and then you go ahead and then just put it on hiatus for a week, when probably by the next time Wednesday comes around, I'll be wanting to neck myself because I haven't got my latest update of One Piece. So, what is Gear 4 and what is up with this chapter? Well, what is up with this chapter? This chapter is through the roof. Just a few things that I want to mention, and that goes off the versatility, I guess you could say, of Luffy's power compared to Doflamingo's power. A lot of people are saying that Doflamingo is way overpowered to Luffy right now, but that's not really how I see it, because everyone's saying that Doflamingo's power is way more versatile than Luffy's. I mean, yes, that is true in some ways, because he does have some, you know, string Kagebunshi no Jutsu bullshit, and then he's got the ability to just regenerate all of his organs that he's been destroyed, and then he's got some ability to pretty much put everyone in a giant prison, with God knows how many other abilities he has. But then you also have to think about the attribute of his ability and the actual things that he can do with it compared to Luffy, and the attribute of his ability and the things that he can do with it. Well, you know, Doflamingo's ability is strings, so he's obviously can do a lot more things with strings than you can do with rubber. But if you give Luffy the right circumstances, he can do a lot of things with the ability that he's got. I mean, if we look at it, he's got his Gomu Gomu no Fusen, he's got his Gear 2nd and his Gear 3rd, and obviously now Gear 4, which we'll discuss in a few minutes. And he's also got this, we're using the Punk Hazard arc, the Gomu Gomu no UFO, he's got his Gatling, he's got his Whip, he's got a numerous amount of abilities, so he's doing the best he can with the ability that he's got, which makes it as versatile as it can be. Whereas with Doflamingo, he's obviously doing the best that he's got with his ability, which makes it also insanely more versatile. And then you also have to remember that Doflamingo has probably had his ability for years and years longer than Luffy, and Luffy is also able to say, I guess you could say, compensate for that with more abilities with less skill, but it has more power, more speed with his Gear 2nd and his Gear 3rd. So moving on from that, just a little few notes. How we have Cavendish sticking around for the battle. I reckon this is probably going to be a little bit of a set-off, so because Law wanted to stick around, and then Cavendish said, you know, I'm not into this whole suicide mission, so I'm going to stick around with you. So who knows? There could be another enemy could come around, and then Cavendish could have his moment of glory, because, you know, that's what he's all about. He wants the limelight, he wants the attention, he wants the popularity. So I guess this could be a setup for something to come. Either he will have a new opponent to fight, or I guess when all of the media gets out there, he will be the one in front of that camera saying, you know, I saw Luffy go down, Luffy put a lot of responsibility on me to guard his Nakama and whatnot, and he'll get that attention that he so truly wants. Now, this has been the quick review of this chapter, and now I just really want to get into the nitty-gritty of what is Gear 4, because that is the question. That is the question that everyone is asking. What is Gear 4? So first of all, I have heard a few rumors from friends saying that Gear 4 could possibly be a combination of Gear 2, Gear 3, previous abilities, combination of some previous abilities to make up a new ability, which will be Gear 4. But if we look at that, it's not really logical for something like that to happen, because what Oda usually tries to do is give us something completely different, completely new, something we've never seen before. I mean, Oda could have simply made a Red Hawk a Gear 4, because a Red Hawk is a somewhat versatile ability. I mean, as you've seen, he's got his Red Hawk Gatling, he's got his Red Hawk Whip, and a few other versatile moves that he has made with Red Hawk. But you know, Oda never decided to make that into a Red 4, into a Gear 4. He just simply decided to make that into a Red Hawk and make that a versatile ability as it is. So I believe that Gear 4 will be something else entirely. It won't be a combination of Gear 2 with Gear 3 with Haki. It will be something completely different, which will change the way that Luffy's ability acts. Luffy's ability from the get-go is rubber. However, when he activates Gear 2, it then makes his rubber activate at a lot of a faster rate. So it gives him increased strength with a lot greater increased speed. It gives him more speed than it does strength. However, with his Gear 3, it gives him a lot of strength with the decrease in speed and a lot of speed. So I reckon his next ability may be somewhere in between. It could be a massive increase in strength and a massive increase in speed, or it could be just a minor increase or a medium increase in strength and speed. Instead of getting a 10 in one and a 3 in another, could be getting 5s in both. Or it could be something similar to a double-edged sword, something similar to when his Gear 2 and Gear 3 were first activated, how he'd activate Gear 2 and then he'd have less stamina for quite a while, or he'd activate Gear 3 and then he'd go into a miniaturized state for a while. It could be something similar to that, where he activates his Gear 4 and he gets a lot of power, a lot of speed, and then after that it has a negative side effect where maybe he's incapacitated for a duration of time, similar to when he versed Lucci, how he used Gear 2 and Gear 3 at the same time and then he wasn't able to move at all. His muscles pretty much just died. So it could be something similar along those tracks. His Gear 4 could be a double-edged sword, or it could just be 2 5s. Who knows? But yeah, I am the one, and all of you guys are obviously the ones who really want to know what his Gear 4 is. I personally don't believe that it's going to be activating Gear 2 with Gear 3 and then activating armament Haki. That just sounds too easy. Oda's never been an easy person. He's always like to challenge our imaginations and get our thoughts rolling, really, and he wouldn't really just go out and be like, okay, Gear 4 is just going to be Gear 2 with Gear 3 with and Haki and probably just Red Hawk. I did have a little kind of I guess you could say idea that his Gear 4 may have possibly been an activation with Gear 2, and then it could have been an all-body Gear 3 where he just pretty much kind of like his during the Thriller Bark arc, how he went into the Nightmare form. Something similar to that, with a lot of power and a lot of speed, except that that drawback of obviously not being able to move at the end of the activation after he uses it. It could be something similar along those lines, but however, I was thinking that he does a little bit of like a full body armament Haki, and then possibly, I don't know, maybe just uses Red Hawk full body as well, who knows. But then again, I also think that that is just too easy because it's just a combination of all his other abilities. And like I was saying before, each and every single one of his activations gives him a new way to use his ability, more versatility, more different moves and attacks. I don't reckon it would be something like that. Like I was saying, he uses his Gear 3 and then he's got, you know, his Grizzly Magnum and his Elephant Gun or his Elephant Thor. Other moves like that, just from, you know, different versatility, different moves from activating one of his one of his gears. So I don't think Gear 4 will be a combination because it just wouldn't really make any sense for Oda to do something like that. It would be a lot more interesting as well, because if it was something that nobody else expected, something that just blows everyone's minds away and just gives Luffy's rubber ability a completely new range of moves and abilities. It could be something along the lines of maybe using his Conqueror's Haki along with his armament Haki, or his what's the other one? His Perception Haki. I'm not 100% sure what it's called. Besoushuku no Haki or something like that. But yeah, it could be a combination of different Hakis. But like I said again, something like that doesn't really seem like an Oda thing to do. So yeah, I do believe that Luffy's ability isn't actually going to be a combination of his previous abilities. It is going to be something different entirely because, like I've said before and reinstated more than once already, it doesn't seem like an Oda thing to do to just give us, you know, old abilities mixed together and bring out a new ability and call that Gear 4. Because like I said, especially with this Red Hawk possibly being the best example, that could have been a Gear 4, but like I said, it doesn't really shine with the whole Gear 4 that it could be with all of its amazingness. Gear 4, when Oda gives us Gear 4, it's going to be huge, it's going to be massive. I know this really hasn't been a whole descriptive version of what I believe Gear 4 to be, but all I can tell you is that when Oda gives us Gear 4, it's going to be huge, and it's not going to be what anybody else thinks, because I can't even imagine what a Gear 4 for Luffy would be. Like, it just seems too ridiculously overpowered. It seems like probably a Sage Mode for a Naruto, to be honest, because I reckon, if anything, it's going to be something that Rayleigh has taught him in that, what was it, 12 to 18 months of training before Rayleigh decided to up and at him, because he had taught Luffy everything he could pretty much teach him, and then Luffy just went and continued to develop on the skills that Rayleigh taught him. So yeah, I do think it's going to be something that Rayleigh taught him, and then possibly Luffy developed on, and then decided to turn that into a Gear 4. But like I said, it is going to be something ridiculously overpowered, because all of his gears do step up his power and speed that one notch. Like he says, when he was in his fight against Bluno, you know, you won't be able to touch me anymore or attack me anymore, because all my abilities will be going up one level. And that was his Gear 2nd. And then when we saw his Gear 3rd not too long after his attack with Bluno, we all thought, you know, that was also insane as well. And then when he came out with more abilities and more of a versatile way to use his Gear 3rd, every single time that came out, it was just more and more amazing. I mean, in his fight against Hody, and then how we used a Gear 3rd Gatling gun. No one ever thought that probably would have been possible, but you know, there it was. He gave us a Gear 3rd Gatling gun because we all pretty much wanted to see it as well. So when he does come out and give us that Gear 4, it's going to be something extraordinary, something that nobody would have ever imagined or pictured, and something that's just going to blow us all away, really, because when it does come to that 2 weeks time where Chapter 784 does come out, it's going to blow us all away. So that is essentially my discussion, and what I think about the Gear 4. It's not so much about what I think Gear 4 is going to be, but just what I think in general Gear 4, kind of what Oda will make it out to be, something like that, something along those lines. But if I did guess, I have to say, put a crack at Gear 4 before I finish off this video, I'm going to probably contradict myself in every single way possible, because, like, you know, you've all seen that that photo with Luffy in sort of like a Super Saiyan 4 state. Who knows, it could be something like that, except, you know, he does a full body armament haki and then turns himself into full body Red Hawk. Like I said, I completely contradicted myself, but that's the only thing that I could honestly picture it out to me. But like I also said, it's not going to be something so simple, because if it was simple, it would disappoint all of us, because it can't be something that we expect. It's going to be something that Oda creates originally. It's going to be amazing, because Oda's brain is probably like just ticking away about. He's probably got 1,000 different kinds of Gear 4s, and he's just going to randomly pick one, and I bet you every single one of those 1,000 are going to also be amazing. So that is what I think, my discussion for Gear 4, and my review as well for One Piece Chapter 783 in my side. And also, if you like this video, please give it that thumbs up. I also want to know what your thoughts on Gear 4 are going to be, so leave those thoughts in the comment section down below. You know, if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more as well. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, guys, have a great day or night. Peace out.